I am at the Indianapolis Speedway for the Shelby American Automobile Club SAAC event number 47 years. And it is super loud here, so I'm going to do my best to give you a little bit of a tour. Please excuse my screaming, but I will do the best I can. There we go. Look at this R model coming. Well, probably not a real R model, but we'll find out. I'm sure it's a real 65 Shelby. You can see that the show is actually underneath the grandstands here because of rain. Good and bad though. The bad is the race cars are right above it, so it's extremely loud. This is a cool car. This is a 1965 Shelby GT350 Unrestored. I mean, look at this. Unbelievable car. They left it the way either they found it or they've always seen it with all the rust. They have a cute little sign on top of student driver. I caught a little video of this on the way in earlier. Look at the patina. You got the factory rear seat delete. Looks like a period jacket too in there. You can see it never had the hood stripes, but you can see the difference. You can see how much age is on this thing. This is awesome. There's actually another Unrestored 65 here. We'll see in a second. All right. Now, I don't know what the story is with this Shelby here. I'm assuming I don't think that's a factory color. Definitely lifted. Definitely not the factory wheels. Still cool though. I hear something over there. All right, we got a 289 AC Cobra here. Let's get over to the show field. So the show field is full of incredible cars. Now if you go back to the first GT350, my interview with Nick Smith, this is his car. So this is the very first Shelby GT350 serial number 3. And you can see how immaculate this car is. Now one interesting thing is you'll see it has a few differences from the regular 65. One of them is this GT350 there on the front fender. Also, you'll see one side of this car has Cragar wheels while the other side has the steel wheels, and that's two theories on that. You can see how clean this car is underneath. One theory is that Shelby wanted to give the impression that there were 2 of these press cars versus 1, so one of them has the Cragars and then the other one has the steel wheels. Let's get a better look over here. Steel wheels, and you can see here, nice shot of it with each. So the other theory is that it was done that way so that he could show that there were 2 different sets of wheels available. Now I would go with the first theory. Shelby was known for repainting his Cobras, one Cobra, to show that it was, he had more than one. So it is serial number 3. Listen to my podcast and you'll find out why serial number 3 is actually the number 1 car. All right, this is going to get loud, so I'm going to speak a little louder here. This is a real 1 of 37 R model Shelbys, made for racing. This one is actually part of Legendary Motor Cars. Drove this in, Peter Kloot, so either he owns it or he's selling it, I'm not quite sure. They also have this gorgeous AC Cobra here. This is a 1966, and then there's a gorgeous little 289 car in the back there. Now it's a very historic Cobra. This Cobra here is actually a factory racer. Now this is a very early 67. You can see it's number 36. inboard headlights. And I know I'm missing a lot of fun facts about these cars, but I'm just trying to do a quick walk around. All right, here's some facts. White 4-speed black interior with a hood scoop light. Only 20 were made. Signed by Carroll Shelby. He signed a lot of stuff. So this is a rarity on these, mostly GT350s, to have the turn signals in the rear scoop. Originally I had heard and was told that was only on GT350s, but apparently there's a handful, like 3 or 4 GT500s that also have that right at the transition point. Now here's a factory racer, AC Cobra number 89. Another one of Klut's cars. Now, if I remember right, this is actually a big block car. This one was shown at Amelia Island, and it was a car many people didn't know existed. 1963 Cobra competition car. Absolutely outstanding, beautiful car. So yeah, I did see that one. All right, this is Donnie Klut's car. We'll walk through these other 65 Shelbys. This one has a striped Elite. Alright, this was out of Illinois. And then I was actually watching them judge this one over here. This is from Australia. Freshly restored. Took over 4,000 hours to restore, and the owner showed me a picture of it prior to restoration, and it was a running, driving car that would be proud to show up at any cruise-in, and yet it was taken down to the bolts. And I can see here they're judging this 1969 Boss 429, and then we have another 1965. Now, from a market trends perspective, the 65s have been a little soft lately, but they had a nice run up. For a long time, you could get a 65 for around $350,000. Now they're $500,000, $400 to $500 all day. When you talk about some of these particular examples that have been judged by the SAAC Concord judges, and it reaches a high score, then that could easily higher. Now, one thing about this R model, so like I said, this is a factory racer. You can see it's got a few changes. Some of the obvious stuff. It has a plexiglass window here that has an opening at the top. Bumpers were removed, they had a different gas tank, a lot of differences. The wheels are different. You can see the vent was covered up, plexiglass windows. So now these have been trading typically around $900,000 to $1.1 million. We've seen a couple of the Flying Mustang, the most famous one, the first R model. Ken Miles drove it. We've seen that one trade recently for 3.5 to 3.7. I think it traded at Indy for 3.7, and then it resold for 3.5. So part of that obviously was the Ford versus Ferrari movie. All right, here's another beautiful 65. I love these wheels. I just love the 65s. All right, here we've got a 67. All right, here's another 67. Now this was, I've been told numerous times, this was the most popular color in 1967. This is the 1 year that there was a big block with dual 4-barrel carbs. This is the only year that that was available. And this one has the center headlights, which was changed to outboard. So this is a very desirable example. You can see we got a 70 orange. Oh, I love the color on this one. I don't know the name of the color. I think it's Highland green or Ivy green. They had the same color for 2 different years, but they changed the name between the Mustangs and the Shelbys, I believe. There's the outboard. That's nice. We're pretty much going in chronological order. You know, I was told there were some 66s here, but I haven't seen them yet. I think this is a 68. Oh, sorry. Again. Here's a 68. '68 had the hood scoop up here, while 67 had it in the center. These were actually the most popular wheels on the 68. Often you'll see the 10-spoke wheels, which were much rarer. Now these are both 1970s. 69 did not have the 2 black scoops or black stripes on the hood. Otherwise, they're the same exact car. 1970 cars were actually leftover 1969 cars. All right, I'm going to see if I can find some more Shelbys in the infield. I hear there's a totally unrestored crazy one here. Okay, here is the 166 I can find. I kind of went by this one pretty quick. It probably threw me off because it has the Krieger wheels, which I mostly associate with 65, but they were available in 66. And you can see the biggest way to tell the difference is with the plexiglass rear window there, whereas on the 65s, those are vents. And then the other thing that threw me off is this one does not have a back seat, which I don't believe would be correct, as all of the 66s had back seats, unless this was a carryover 65 that they turned into a 66, and maybe that explains why that is. Now, I don't think it's a carryover car, because 65s have the exhaust coming out in front of the rear wheels. This one has them coming up from the rear. I think the carryover cars, the exhaust did come out from here like they would have on 65s. So I don't know. I'll have to ask them why this thing has a rear package tray versus the actual back seat. All right, this is a car I inadvertently skipped over because they were in conversation, but this is an unrestored 1965 Shelby. What's really cool about this is the son of the original owner has the car, and he will be a guest on the podcast here shortly. Now this is really cool because if you look at the colors, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's a difference between the white on the fiberglass hood and the white on the steel fenders. So that only is apparent after many years of age. And then also apparently these are dealer added on stripes versus the factory stripes. And you can see the age present. Looks like a period sticker. Very, very cool. So be sure to stay tuned for the interview, because apparently there's a lot of fun stories about this car back when it was new, to when the current owner was a little boy, and some of the rules for the car. Only has, I believe, 68,000 original miles on it. There's another Cobra sticker. I'll have to ask him about that in the podcast. I'm going to guess they're put on there probably in the 70s, if I had to guess.